sad. I'm so sad.
Hello and welcome to the very first ever episode 11 of the Crossplay Podcast. My name is Nicky James, sitting here alongside my podcasting partner, Zach.
What's up, y'all?
Today, I start this podcast with a bit of an apology to the folks over at Ubisoft. You see, what had been happening was I was chatting shit, as the Brits say.
I was chatting shit
On Twitter, saying that the Xbox One version of Rainbow Six runs terribly compared to the PS4 version. I had to buy it again on the Xbox One because I got banned for 7 days on PlayStation.
Doing too much hood rat shit.
Yeah, these fools just keep stepping up to me, dude. How am I supposed? They look at me menacingly with their eyes, so I have to shoot them sometimes, and I have to shoot them right in the face.
Everyone knows you can't make eye contact in Rainbow Six.
No,
that's asking for it.
The rules of the jungle, dude. It's the rules of Detroit, the concrete jungle. I was chatting all this shit, saying that it doesn't run well. Well, I remembered this morning that my Xbox One is not hooked up wired to a hardwired connection. So after consistently losing because of bullshit lag and rubber banding, which I blamed just on the Xbox and mostly on Ubisoft, I plugged it in the hardwire and everything ran fine after that. So kind of my fault. So Ubisoft, I hope we can still be friends. If it makes you feel any better, I bought your fucking game twice. So
cut me some slack, Jack.
Zach, what have you been playing this week?
Rainbow Six. Been playing lots of Rainbow Six, and then a fucking amazing game that I just played for the first time, South Park and the Stick of Truth.
Oh yeah, that game came out in like 2013, probably. It's actually a last gen game, and I've been wanting to play. The funny thing about that game, sorry to kind of hijack your topic here, is I played it first on PC when it came out, and I got it through less than savory means. And they put a thing in the game where at a certain point, Bethesda, I believe, or Obsidian Entertainment, the developers of it, decided to put a thing in the game where if you had got it through those means, that you cannot get further than that point. And they got me, dude. I had to stop playing. But it always was like a regret of mine that I never got to finish that game. And so right now they're running a pre-sale or pre-order bonus on South Park The Fractured Butthole, where if you pre-order it, you'll get the Stick of Truth for free. So I essentially paid $60 because I really wanted to beat Stick of Truth. So What was your 2 cents on Stick of Truth?
My 2 cents were that it's an RPG that has turn-based combat, and that we haven't seen in so long. All the big RPGs, Skyrim, Witcher 3, all of them are real-time combat, and it really adds something to it. There's something about turn-based combat brings me back to Pokemon and games like that, where it's just fun. You get a little break. You don't have to constantly be focused.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic was another one that did it really well. And what I feel like South Park did especially well was they made it turn-based but not boring. There was still plenty to do during the combat. It wasn't more like Knights of the Old Republic where you selected your move, watched it take place, then watched their move take place, and then you could act again. You know what I mean? This game, a lot like the Paper Mario series, which is turn-based, it plays the exact same as Stick of Truth in terms of combat.
I haven't played that game before. I
actually haven't either, but I've only heard good things.
Okay.
But yeah,
do that one.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, it's kind of been on my list of games that I just missed over the years. You know what I mean? What else? You been playing anything else? Stick of Truth, Rainbow Six?
Nah, just crossword puzzles and old man games.
Sudoku.
Yep.
So we're gonna get right into it with the news today. Destiny 2 is killing it, dude. Have you been reading any articles or hearing any chit chat about Destiny 2's performance thus far?
No, just outside of it being better than the first one.
It is, yeah, it is. I'm a grade A Destiny hater. The first one really just sucked for me. It was void of any story or motivation. It was just, I don't know, it was shooting generic aliens in space. I couldn't, you could tell me I was playing Halo, you could tell me I was playing Destiny, you could tell me I was playing aliens, Colonial Marines. You could have told me I was playing any generic space shooter and I would have believed you. So it really didn't strike a chord with me. However, Destiny 2, on the other hand, they really put a lot of emphasis on story. And there's a lot of unique and satisfying gunplay, whereas in Destiny 1, you were just mowing down as bullet sponge mode. But the story is being really well told. The standout point of this game for me is the music is phenomenal. Only critique being is that sometimes it's misplaced. Like you're doing something really benign, like brushing your teeth, and they're playing this like music that's just really like intense, but it's still really nice. Do
you actually brush your teeth in the game?
No, I don't think so. No,
just wanted to clarify that.
No, there's no toothbrushing minigame. In South Park: Stick of Truth, there is a pooping minigame.
Very fun one.
Yeah, and you can use the poop to throw at your opponents. Anyway, but Destiny 2, I'm going to keep playing it. Stick of Truth kind of sucked up the last few days of my life, but I've been playing Destiny 2 here and there. Whether or not it'll hold my attention enough to beat it, we'll see. Aside from, did you hear about the shader controversy in that game?
No.
So what shaders are, in Destiny 1, they're basically color palettes you can swap out onto your armor.
Like cell shading?
Exactly. Just a way to change the color of your equipment.
Okay.
If you got a pink one, you could use it everywhere and anywhere. Now in Destiny 2, if you're lucky enough to unlock one through the random loot, it's only one-time use and it's disposable. So if you make your glove pink, that's it. Your glove is pink and it goes out into the trash.
You're like level 2 gloves that you're gonna get rid of.
Yeah, exactly. In a day or two. So a lot of people are really disappointed with that. But other than that, people seem to be generally pretty happy. Nintendo Direct just went down this past Wednesday. These things are really cool. People tend to really eat them up because they're what they are. They're direct. Before they have
aptly named,
and before they come out, they tell you what it's going to be about. They come out and talk about it, and then they leave. No fuss, no muss, just straight up direct news. So I'm gonna pull a couple of headlines here. For those Nintendo fans out there, Mario Party, the Top 100, is a new compilation coming to the Nintendo 3DS. It's going to be a 100 greatest hits from all the Mario Party games. Do you have any experience with Mario Party?
I do. I love Mario Party.
Tell me your memories of Mario Party.
Playing with you when you used to have your Wii.
That's right.
Played that. Bryce also had a Wii, and so we used to play Mario Party. It's just a great party game. It gets everyone involved, which is why I think it's weird that they're putting it on a 3DS, a handheld.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's no local multiplayer. There's like ad hoc, local through other systems.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the online services on the 3DS are actually good enough now, especially through first-party games, to host lobbies and to actually go online now with your 3DS like we do on the PS4.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when did you first play it? Did you play Mario Party 1? Did you ever get like blisters on your palms from the joysticks?
From the joysticks? Yeah. I'm not good at that, at the fast joystick shit or button mashing. So it's a fun game if you're playing with lots of people, but it's one of those games that I'm not going to play ever by myself. Yeah,
that'd be weird. Be a cause for concern. The Nintendo Switch open world game, RPG, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gets a release date and a special edition. It'll be released December 1st for those of you that are Xenoblade fans. New Kirby game being announced for the 3DS. Yeah, I've never played a Kirby game in my life. Have you?
I don't think I have either, no.
Kirby and like kind of Mega Man also are kind of complete franchises that I've just ghosted my entire...
Oh, you never played Mega Man though on the Game Boy?
I have now because I have it on the Xbox One on the arcade. It's got like a collection, so I played them now, but I don't have that nostalgia, and I didn't experience it as a child.
Loved that game, and the music is so epic, dude.
Yeah, the music is amazing,
and they had a lot of stuff. Like it was a side scroller type of, a little bit of strategy, but like a platformer almost. But it's
legendarily hard, isn't it?
It was hard, and they had things like wind, like on the new Sonic game.
Oh yeah.
You're outside of that big ass blimp, and the wind's blowing you back, and it makes it fucking impossible.
Right.
They had that in Mega Man way back in the day on the Game Boy, And there was just a lot of cool aspects to that made it a little different and stand out.
Well, maybe now's time to get into it. I have it on the Xbox, so maybe one night we'll split a 6-pack and bust into it.
Split a 6-pack.
I was trying to be modest. I don't want people to know. All right, we'll split a bottle of whiskey and and we'll talk about it. We'll play it. One of the biggest complaints coming out of the Nintendo Switch's launch so far has been the lack of a virtual console. The virtual console on the Wii and the Wii U was basically the way you're going to get your old Nintendo games. The way you're going to rebuy Metroid and Mario 1 and all the old school games, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. But the Switch has no show from the virtual console so far. Nintendo's trying to sort of remedy that by adding an arcade game ports, like a lot of the old Galaga, Dig Dug type of collection games, but it's not the virtual console. So it's a Band-Aid, but not a solution. Skyrim for the Nintendo Switch has gotten a release date. It'll be hitting the mobile console on November 17th.
Wow.
Just in time for the holiday.
Yeah.
I still predict that this game is going to run like hot ass on the Switch, and that it's going to be a pretty huge disappointment.
It took this long for a reason. I mean, how long has this game been out, and they're just getting it?
It's been out, coming up on 6 or 7 years, yeah. It's crazy. It's so I'm worried about that. Everyone else seems to not be, though, so hey, more power to you. Let them eat their cake. Let them eat cake. Nintendo Switch version of Doom announced with a release date this holiday season. So that's not a date. It's a release window. Come on, guys. Cool. Awesome. Isn't it that Nintendo's getting a AAA game from a third party that's also not a family-oriented game?
Yeah, pretty far from family-oriented.
Yeah.
Doom is so graphic.
So they're really making strides in kind of shedding that family-only skin, and they're kind of making themselves more open to third-party developers. If Bethesda is publishing on your console, that's not any worse than EA or Ubisoft developing on your console. So it's a really good thing. It helps legitimize the Switch as a contender this generation. Did you play Doom?
Oh yeah, the original one,
the new one.
The new one I played as well. Yeah. So fast-paced. I loved it.
Yeah, it was very, very fast-paced.
It's like playing Guitar Hero on maximum difficulty. It's so hard to keep up. You're just like, ah.
Yeah, and it's so visceral, like just the colors and everything like that, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is also heading to the Nintendo Switch with the release window stated for 2018, likely like third quarter 2018, because those games 28 when they just give you a year, that means you're lucky if it comes out this year, so it's probably going to be towards the end of that year, maybe for holiday, which will be good because then that'll give Doom the holiday 2017 and Wolfenstein 2 holiday 2018, so that's a good release window for Bethesda games over on the Switch. A Switch demo dropped yesterday for the exclusive Square Enix RPG Project Octopath Traveler. Stupidest name for a video game.
Project Octopath Traveler.
Project Octopath Traveler. That is the most Japanese name I've ever heard.
I wonder how many paths you can take in this game.
Probably upwards of 8. Super Mario Odyssey has a really cool photo mode on the Nintendo Switch, kind of like the Horizon photo mode.
Yeah,
where it's just complete control. And the cool stuff you could do in that game mixed with a really cool photo mode allows for some awesome and interesting wallpapers to be made. They flaunted that in the Direct, saying, showing you exactly how you can make them fit for your phones, and they really want you to use it as background. So, cool.
Very cool. I wish they would come out with a newer Pokemon Snap where you could save those pictures. And
One day. And because Nintendo wants it and the fans want it, it's just, I think the developer of the original game doesn't want to release it. HAL Laboratories, the same people that created Super Smash Brothers.
Well, then make a new one.
Yeah, screw them.
The old one, make a new one.
Yep. Well, maybe one day, we'll see. Last but not least, from the Direct, a new Super Mario Odyssey Nintendo Switch bundle has been revealed for this holiday season. So it's going to be the game bundled with the console. Disappointing fact, though, is that it's apparently going to be a digital download of the game, not a physical copy, not a disc. So a little disappointing, but
I don't know. I mean, I always download my games.
I do too. But when you get it in a bundle, doesn't it feel more special just to get a disc, to get a physical item?
Maybe, until you have to put the disc in every time you want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Experience longer load times.
Yeah, and it's going to be kind of disappointing to open your console and be like, yeah, I'm going to play this pack-in game, and then you download the code, and it's going to take 6 hours to download.
That's true, too.
That's going to kind of kill your excitement. But
yeah,
nonetheless, a pretty cool bundle. Moving on down the list of news here. Naughty Dog original, Bruce Straley, has left Naughty Dog. He started there back in 1999 as a texture artist on Crash Team Racing, and he's one of the minds responsible for the way Naughty Dog developed and kind of grew up with its audience. You know, when we were kids, we were playing Crash Bandicoot, which was a game for kids. You know, when we were teenagers, we were playing Jak and Daxter, which is a more for teenagers type of game, a little more attitude than your Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
And then when we became adults, we were playing Uncharted and The Last of Us, which are very adult games, especially The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us is very adult, but Uncharted is just a masterpiece.
Yeah, so the reason this guy's notable is because he went from being a texture artist in 1999 to being the director on his first game, Uncharted, in 2007. So in 8 years, he really grew with this company and was one of the driving forces of the direction, and now he is departing.
Who's this, Brucey boy?
Bruce Straley, he was a director, of games. You know, started from the bottom, now he was there, and now he's leaving.
Started from the bottom, now he's gone.
Now he's gone, yeah. So the interesting bit, the news here, is the speculation on what's going to happen to Naughty Dog, because they've lost a couple of key people, Bruce, and I'm trying to remember the name of the lady that left, Amy Hennig. She left. She created Crash Bandicoot, and so
is there any reason why they left?
She left to go head up Disney's Star Wars video game division.
Okay.
So now she heads up Battlefront 2, things like that. So a trade up for sure.
Yeah.
And Bruce is leaving because he took. You know what I think? It's burnout. Probably just burnout. These are all very extraneous processes creating games. So like when he goes through Uncharted 2 game director, The Last of Us has the game director, Uncharted 4, and then in the ones before, I think he took a lot of time off and then eventually decided he found passion elsewhere. And that's what he said. Actually, he found his passions elsewhere, so he's just going to go do that.
Okay.
So he contributed his fair share, that's for sure.
Hopefully he was good enough to train the rest of his team.
Right.
And hopefully they have someone good to fill his shoes.
Right, yeah. So we will soon find out. Battleborn, moving on down the list here. Battleborn is dead.
Battleborn, are you talking about the aristocratic family from Skyrim?
Yeah.
They live in Whiterun?
The Battleborn clan? They're all dead. No. The game, the unfortunate tragic tale of Battleborn, it released around the same time as Overwatch. And, nobody saw Overwatch's popularity. No one saw Overwatch's popularity incoming, so it came out the same time as Battleborn or as Overwatch, and kind of just fell face flat, and never really, gained steam.
Was it like cartoony characters like Overwatch?
It was a hero shooter. It was cartoony characters. It was basically a clone. It just didn't get the traction, that Overwatch did. So it just kind of lived in its shadow. So the other day, developer Gearbox announced that there are no further updates planned, and the dev team has been moved on to an unannounced project.
Battleborn 2.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, they haven't given up on it yet. You never know.
You heard it here first, folks.
A couple side notes before we end the news. Not really news stories, just bullet points here. Jeepers Creepers 3 is in the works, being released in about 9 days as of this recording. We saw the trailer. What were your thoughts on the trailer?
The dialogue, the few sentences I heard,
the script itself was like really weird, wasn't it?
It was just bad. It was just cheesy. But you don't watch a horror movie to for good dialogue. You watch it to be scared. And so, Jeepers Creepers, that villain, that fucking whatever.
Scarecrow,
that bad guy.
I guess, whatever it is.
Scarecrow and a duster. He is terrifying. He's just fucking scary.
When I saw this trailer, I was really into it, and then that's why I put it on this list to talk about today. And then this morning, I realized it's coming out in 9 days, and I was like, maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah, definitely low budget is what that means.
Yeah, so we'll see. Last but not least, something. Well, actually, we'll get into this. It's going to be a topic. Very first topic of the day. Zachary, Canelo, Triple G, last night, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Break it down. What happened?
Wages.
Lost wages. Nice.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Third largest gate in boxing history. Second to Floyd Mayweather's 2 fights with Pacquiao and McGregor. But a really fun fight to watch. It ended controversially in a draw. Although the final punch stats had Golovkin landing about 219 punches versus Canelo's 169. So a little more punches landed from Gennady Golovkin, but when you looked at the fighters, you saw who was landing the heavier shots. It was certainly Canelo. Even though he's a smaller guy, he seemed to have heavier and more explosive punches.
So Triple G just looked worse for wear.
He looked worse for wear. He also looked more awkward in the ring, too. He had a weird awkwardness about him. I think he's so used to people cowering in his power because his power, it's intimidating power. He's knocked out 33 of 37 opponents.
It kind of looks like in the early rounds, maybe Triple G started to respect the straight and the jab. That's kind of what I was reading, is that once he established the jab, so to speak, he never really took off on him again. I mean, he was landing more punches, but there was no power behind him compared to Canelo.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. But there was one judge in particular, Judge Adelaide, had the fight, I think 118 to 110 for Canelo.
Wow.
Huge split.
And I heard it's not the first time they've had these sort of issues with this judge. Isn't this a controversial judge?
Yeah, she's had some questionable calls in the past, but
right.
They all do. All the judges, they all have something weird in their history.
All kinds of skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. But I think the way it ended, there has to be a rematch. Both fighters need to make adjustments because neither of them were good enough to really assert themselves. It wasn't clear that either of them won, so it's going to end like this. And so Golovkin and the Golovkin fans, if you're upset, your boy didn't pull through. He didn't do what it took to win the fight. He should have knocked him out, or he should have been a little more dominant in the ring. He really wasn't that dominant. It was a close fight.
So it sounds like you agree with the decision for a draw.
I do. I think the one judge's scorecard that had it 118 to 110 in Canelo's favor, I think I definitely don't agree with that one. That's a little, little wide of a gap.
Who are you working for, Blue?
Yeah, exactly. So, but still, I mean, I think a draw is the correct call. It was a split draw, which
explains
rare.
That.
So there's 3 judges scoring the bout. So if one judge scores it for boxer A, and the second one scores it for boxer B, and the third one scores it a draw, then it becomes a draw. It's a split draw because...
Oh, okay. So one went for Triple G, one went for Canelo, but the third one said it was a draw, so therefore it's a draw?
Therefore it's a draw.
Ah.
Really interesting.
Okay, I get it.
And sometimes there's a split decision would be like two thought boxer A won and one thought boxer B, so then it's a split decision in favor of boxer A.
Right. So was the fight overall a good fight? Exciting to watch?
It was pretty exciting. They did take it to each other. There were some rounds where they were just exchanging. And if you're a real true boxing fan, it's always a pleasure to watch Canelo in the ring. His defense is so good. On top of his heavy explosive punching, he's just so hard to hit.
Well, moving on down the list here to the first topic of the show. What do you know how like sometimes you're at a stoplight and some guy, not a stoplight but a 4-way, and a guy comes up and to the side next to you and he gives you the old "you may now go" type of wave?
You have my permission to go before me?
Yes, I will allow you to go. that's typically considered a nice gesture, but some people would consider that like an asshole move. What are like some other nice gestures that bother you, or that I don't know if that bothers you, but
That not that much, but so you're saying like a nice gesture that is accepted socially as being nice that I
but
don't
like
like.
personally just pisses you off for some reason.
If I'm sneezing a lot, if it's like, rapid fire, like 5 sneezes in a row,
Yeah.
and someone keeps saying God bless you, I'm like, God damn you, shut the fuck up. I get it, I sneezed, I'm okay, I have enough attention drawn to me right now. I don't want you to fucking rub my nose in it.
And is it the religious connotation that bugs you at all?
No. If it was Gesundheit, if it was anything, it could have been any nice words.
Hey, you're sneezing, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's like, you're sneezing.
Everyone look at him, sneeze boy. Fix your sinuses. So
yeah.
that pisses you off, huh?
To a degree.
It can?
It can, yeah. Kind of like another example. When you get hurt or something, you get the wind knocked out of you, you keel over, twist your ankle. Someone's like, "Oh, are you okay?
Are you okay, little bitch?" That's what they might as well be saying. Yeah. It's so, I don't know what the word is. Pandering? I don't know.
You want some chocolate milk, you little bitch?
You want to go to McDonald's?
You want a Happy Meal?
Okay, we'll go to McDonald's. So yeah, go on.
But you know how it is, like, when you just hurt yourself and you're like, fuck, let me just get over this. And then someone's like, are you okay? It's like, yes, I'm okay.
They come
if
pat
I
you
wasn't,
on the back.
I would say something. Yeah, I'm here for you. It's okay.
Want to talk?
Oh, man.
For me, one of the things that really gets to me, that maybe the person doing it thinks is like they're covering my ass or that it's a nice gesture, is when coworkers fix your work in a way that makes it obvious to management.
Going back to last podcast,
we kind of touched on it last week. That specifically, but there's other ways too that it can be done.
The only thing I would say is it's not a nice gesture.
Yeah, in that specific case,
yeah,
with this clown, I don't think it's a very nice gesture, but I think some people would see it as, I don't know, maybe I'm just targeting this fool again. So he pissed me off.
Yeah, he's a rather irksome individual.
So, but another thing that kind of can grind my gears, really salts my steak, if you will. It depends on the person, depends on the situation, but sometimes when someone corrects my grammar, especially if it comes off like taunting or condescending, and it depends on the person, it depends on a lot of things, but I've been corrected on my grammar and been perfectly fine.
Did you mean tauntingly or condescendingly?
Yes. I'll kill you. No, but like sometimes people can do it so where they're kind of like trying to make fun of you, and you can tell that their goal is to not enlighten you. Their goal is to point you out. You know what I mean? Put you on blast. So that can get kind of annoying.
Oh yeah, no one likes a grammar Nazi.
No
one gives a fuck. If you either get the message or you don't.
Yeah, no girl's gonna be turned on because you know the difference between your and your. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, some might. I don't know. But they're freaks anyway. So
yeah, not the kind you want to fuck with.
Speaking of ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, ladies. What are some things that are acceptable if you're attractive, but if you're ugly, it's a no bueno. No, not acceptable. So something in like society that's acceptable if you're hot, but if you're ugly, it's not.
Ah. Well, there's like tight-fitting clothes.
Yep.
And any sort of flashy dress.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not attractive or rich, or if you have no reason to be as eccentric as you're trying to come off, then it looks trashy for whatever reason. Not that I agree with it. I actually strongly disagree with that.
Yeah, nothing looks flyer than like a 350-pound dude looking like he's about to go to church, like wearing like a white suit, the cane, and just looking fly, like, you know, $500 suit.
I'd hit that.
Hell yeah. Look fly, dude. You do you.
Yeah, exactly. But for whatever reason, it just in our society, people look down on uglier people looking nice.
Yeah, that's true. I've never even thought of that. What? Anything else?
Something classy if you're attractive and trashy if you're not.
Not necessarily classy, but socially acceptable.
Oh, what about cocaine?
Yeah, that could be true.
Coke is one of those drugs.
If you're like a good looking model and you're doing coke in a club or something, you're like, man, she must got a hookup. She must know some people.
She's tight. I want to party with her.
But if there's some like 400-pound dude in sweats, like in the club doing some rails off the counter, you're gonna be grossed out and like getting the jeebies.
And he's gonna get his ass thrown out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Another good one.
Yeah.
That's why I can never do coke in the clubs anymore. They just throw me right out. Anything else?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. Do you got anything?
I got a few, actually.
All right, let's hear it.
Firstly, having no or a shitty personality. Having a shitty personality or no personality.
Okay.
If you are really hot, you can have no personality and still people will chase you. And people will be after you, because you're hot.
Yeah.
But if you're ugly, man, you better have a good personality.
Yeah.
Because that's all you got going for you, or a good sense of humor.
You better make me laugh, Ugo.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. How many times have you heard someone say, "Oh, well, they got a good personality, though"? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing is,
but I'll say for sure, if there's someone, I don't care how hot you are, if you have no personality, GTFO.
Yeah, there's someone I deal with right now on an almost daily basis that has the personality of a brick wall. And it's like, no matter how good looking you think you are, talking to you is painful.
Jeez. Sorry, man.
We'll just get it together. No. Another thing is...
There's someone that I work with on a daily basis sitting at this table.
Someone who sleeps in a room adjacent to me. Making extended eye contact or smiling at a stranger. Yeah, it's if you're like really hot, it's like, oh, she smiled at me. Oh, fuck.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But if like some nasty ass Chewbacca looking bitch like smiles at you, you're just gonna be like, oh god, no. I'm gonna call somebody.
Or like on the other side, like if you were a girl and some attractive guy comes up and smiles, they're gonna be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But then some ugly dude, they're
some
gonna go
neckbeard
on fucking YouTube. How I almost got raped.
Yeah, it's gonna be a BuzzFeed article in no time. Another one is, and this one bears a little bit explaining because what I wrote sounds weird. What I wrote was talking to random children. Now, what I mean by that is if you're at the park or you're in a grocery store line and there's a little kid in the cart behind you and they look at you and they're like waving and smiling being a little kid. Yeah. If you are a nasty, homely looking dude, like gross, and you turn around and be like, hey buddy, how you doing? The mom might get vibes, you know what I mean, or weird feelings. But if you're like a well-kept, good-looking guy, they might not think anything.
No, they might want another one.
Yeah, yeah, they might start ovulating on the spot. Let's see, what else? Here's another one. Saying that you're ugly is acceptable when you're hot because you're just going to get a lot of, no, you're not. What are you talking about? But if you are actually ugly and you're like, I'm so ugly... It makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's annoying. It would make... So, yeah, if someone ugly was like, I'm ugly, it'd be like kind of like, fuck, do I tell this person the truth?
And you're uncomfortable by that, right?
Yeah,
but like,
if
say some
attractive...
smoking hot chick was not even fishing for compliments, just casually even says it, like, I'm ugly. You're probably going to be like, no, you're not, and like try to swoop in on that.
Yeah,
low,
Or be like, yeah, a little bit, but I find you attractive.
when you try.
No, I don't know. It's just as annoying when someone attractive does it. I think. Normally it comes off as fishing for compliments. At least if a hot chick said that, I'd be like, okay, what the fuck what are you wanting a compliment on? Your hair, your nails?
Yeah. What's feeling gross on you today? Another one. I got two more.
All right.
Laziness in the workplace. Now, if you are like ugly or really fat and gross, and if you are lazy in the workplace, in people's minds, you're lazy because you're ugly or fat or out of shape.
Yeah.
If you're lazy in the workplace as a really attractive, especially woman, you're probably going to be given quite a bit of slack because you're attractive. Like, it's just more pleasure to be around. People are
more
harsh.
They don't want you fired.
Yeah. They need you there at the face of the company.
Yeah.
And actually, that kind of ties into the last one, which was sucking at your job. So they're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, from my experience, at least, if I've seen like really gross people get crucified for slipping up on their job, whereas a really attractive coworker gets nothing.
Yeah, that's true. It might, I don't know. It's one of those things too. If there's some disheveled person with fucking dandruff on his shoulders and shit like that, and they're fucking up in front of a customer,
maybe you don't want him representing your company. Yeah.
Then if it's someone attractive, because the customer's just going to overlook it, because that's just how society is.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true.
Not that it's right, it's wrong, but that's the truth, I think.
Moving on to the next topic.
Yes. Next topic.
What are things that everyone seems to love, but you just cannot get into?
Oh, God. This is I feel so strongly about.
Well, go, tee off.
MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is one of the worst fucking things that has ever come to cinema.
And now it's spawned the Universal Cinematic Universe, where they're remaking The Mummy and Frankenstein. And
yeah, and that's something that no one can get into, that I can't get into. But Marvel, for some reason, everyone loves. The Avengers, it's like one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. It's fucking horrible.
I fell asleep during the Avengers Civil War. Or Captain America Civil War, whichever one.
Still, all those ones too.
I hated
Captain
it.
America's.
I hated it.
It's so cheesy, and it's such a blatant money grab. It's like, how could we be letting them get away with this bullshit?
The MCU has been riding off of the success of Iron Man for about almost 15 years.
Really?
Well, because Iron Man was a genuinely good movie.
It was.
It was a very good movie.
I did like that one.
And after that is when they just exploded with all of them, the Spider-Man movies and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
They've been riding those coattails for a long, long time.
And it's also because that's one of the few movies that stands alone. Every movie in this Marvel universe, if you're not in the fucking MCU and not all about that universe, none of it makes sense. You can't just go in and watch the Avengers if you have no other exposure to any Marvel movies.
Right.
You'll go in and be like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Right.
There's a lot of action, a lot of craziness, but who the fuck are all these people?
A lot of colors.
Lots of colors.
That is one thing, though, that I will give to the MCU over DC movies. The DC movies are so void of color, and I don't know why, and it sucks.
Yeah, they have very low saturation.
They're very gray and drab, but the Marvel movies, especially a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, are just visual, like, orgasms. They're crazy.
That might be what plays into the success, but that's kind of how it's always been. Like, DC's always been the darker kind of, I don't know, there's something dark about DC.
It is.
Batman
probably because it probably nails down to the Batman universe. Gotham is a very, very dark and scary place, and I think that kind of just extends if they're looking for continuity throughout their universe.
Yeah,
I think that extends over to Superman and so on and so forth. What else?
Something everyone likes that I can't get into. I don't know. What do you got?
Game of Thrones.
Firstly,
I've never been, and to my credit, I've tried. I've watched the first 4 or 5 episodes of Game of Thrones, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times, and I don't care how good it is, man. If your show does not interest me within the first couple episodes, I'm out. It's just that easy. And when, like, that show starts, they expect you to know so much about these characters and their allegiances and and their families, and they start talking about all these people and places that you know nothing about, and I can't follow it. I don't know what Rathgar and Bumblefuck is doing, because I don't know who that is and what his significance is to the story. So they do that a lot. That's all they do in the first few episodes, is mention people and places that you're not familiar with, and I could not stay interested for these. It wasn't. Yeah, tits are great. Grade A.
That's how they get people interested.
Yeah, I can find those on Reddit the next day. Like, you know what I mean? But it just didn't hold my interest very much. So I've never been into Game of Thrones. My wife loves it, keeps up on every episode. She's read all the books. Just not for me. Do you like Game of Thrones?
I love Game of Thrones.
Are you caught up?
Except for the last season. I haven't seen the last season.
Okay.
But the first few episodes, like the first season, they do talk about a lot of shit that no one would know. That as a viewer, you just have to kind of let it go through one ear and out the other, and eventually you'll catch up. And because I didn't know all the political bonds between all these people. I didn't even know most of their names. I still don't. Like, I need to make up fake names for them, like like Samsung and
Samsung.
other people. Like, it's just it is a lot. There's so many characters and so many political ties, but
right.
But the visuals, I mean, it's better production than most movies that come out each episode.
Yeah, that's true.
And and they do have the attention grabber stuff, all the titties. So many titties, so much murder and
so
death.
many titties.
So, I mean, they're doing something right, and I guess, yeah, to a degree, it is a little cheap tactics, get people watching by all the visually stunning stuff.
Marketing is marketing, right?
Yeah.
Lastly, for me, things I don't like that everyone seems to be into, especially folks my age, IPAs. Can't get into them. Beers, craft, India Pale Ales are really, what are they, bitter as hell? I can't get into IPAs. I've had a couple that I enjoyed. I like grapefruit Sculpin.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Ballast Point.
I like the lizard beer that we have.
Lizard's Mouth.
Lagunitas, is that it? Or
it's not Lagunitas. Lagunitas is good too. That one is why is it not coming to me? Figueroa Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, Figueroa Mountain Lizard's Mouth.
The ones that they sell in 4-packs that mess you up.
Yeah, one will get you buzzed, 2 will get you fucked up.
Yeah, those I don't really mind. But just in general, like, I'll never buy an IPA like on my own or at the store or anything. So
IPAs get annoying with me too. I do like IPAs.
You seem like an IPA guy,
but I'm not. I'm not one of the guys that'll travel 20 miles to go to a brewery that has some unique brew coming out. And as a bartender now too, we have one IPA. We just have one on
805?
draft. No, that's not an IPA.
It's not.
But no, it's not. But we have also by Firestone, the Union Jack IPA.
Oh, okay. How is it?
It's a good IPA. It's a good solid one. Like, if you're gonna carry one IPA, that's kind of like the McDonald's of IPAs. It's something everyone can enjoy. But people will come in. What's your best IPA? Well, we have the Union Jack IPA. Okay, what other ones do you have? Literally, that's the only one. Oh, you don't have any other IPAs? No, bitch. I don't.
Listen to my words, lady.
But it just gets annoying because the people that are into that, they get so appalled by me only having one IPA.
Really? That's great.
But it's like, this shit's going to die out soon. It can't keep up, this fad.
Do you think it's truly a fad? Do you think IPAs will go back to underground craft beers and all that?
Craft beers will, yeah, because all the big ones are getting bought out by the big beverage companies.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw somewhere that someone was saying if you really look at a lot of these small craft beers, look at their labels, find out who owns them, it's usually a bigger company.
Yeah,
much bigger company.
Yeah, there's very few that are all legit, and part of it too is. For a bar or even for a liquor store to carry beers, they have to be the beers have to be delivered by a distribution company other than the company themselves. So if you want to pick up Budweiser, you cannot buy it from Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch. You have to get it through a distributor.
Why is that?
It goes back to the Great Depression or to the Prohibition era. For whatever reason, when they re-allowed alcohol to be drank, they wanted a little more control, adding a middleman just to, for whatever reason, control alcohol a little more. Yeah. Wow. So like around here, it's a Pacific Beverage Company is a big one.
Oh, yeah. I see them all the time with the Eagle logo.
Yep, because the Eagle logo is the Anheuser-Busch because that's their big client.
Oh, okay.
But the problem with all these small little craft beers... all these small little companies, they can't get these like Pacific Beverage Company, they can't get them to stock their shit on their trucks because they need a guarantee that they're going to sell.
I see. So they're not going to, because they're too small.
They're too small, so they're going to be like, sorry, we got a huge shipment of Budweisers that we got to deliver. We don't
know
have any
those will
room.
sell.
Yeah, we don't have room for your little craft bullshit.
For your little craft bullshit.
But these craft guys, it's not like they can. There's nothing they can do as a business. They cannot distribute it themselves. Like that would be what any smart businessman would do. Be like, if I can't get him to distribute it for me, then I'm going to do it myself.
So how does a small, beer get into stores, like into your convenience stores, your 7-Elevens, etc.?
A lot of them don't, and it's just a few really popular ones that do. I don't know what it is that sets them apart that makes it really popular. Firestone, I think what really helped them was the 805 beer, because it's local, and so that started out really big in bars. Everyone has it on tap in the 805 area code. And it's because people will buy it because they're like, oh, 805, we live in the 805. I want it,
Yeah, and 805 is actually not that bad.
No, it's good. Yeah, I like it.
Good.
And I like all of Firestone's beer. But they got lucky in that they just were able to really get a huge following and get a lot of people into their beer.
Yeah, their branding and their marketing was crazy because 805 kind of came out of nowhere about almost 10 years ago or less, and they just exploded.
I remember when it first came out, I was like, whoa. Because even I was like, 805, I love it. I want some.
Exactly. I was such a mark for it because that was my reaction too.
Yeah.
I like beer now because I know that fucking area code. Moving on down to the very last topic of the show, we have a Twitter question from one of our listeners, JohnBoy3393.
What's up, John Boy?
Johnny Boy asks, guys, what is your favorite Disney or Disney/Pixar film and least favorite?
Ooh.
So I know off the top of my head what I want to say. So do you know?
Is it Disney Pixar only or just Disney?
Let's break it down. Let's do Disney Pixar first.
All right.
So favorite and least favorite Disney Pixar film.
My favorite is definitely my favorite is WALL-E.
Yeah, WALL-E's great. I
love WALL-E. There's so much personality and everything that this little robot has that's not even a human.
Yeah.
He's a cute little robot and he's in love with Eva.
Yeah.
It's just, and outside of just the cute factor, it's just such a good story.
Yeah, it really hits all the just all the notes of like, it's got an environmental message, it's got a social message, and it's just got great writing, cute characters. Really not a lot of... Damn, I need to watch that movie again. I have it too. I should watch it again soon.
Yeah, I love that one. Another, like an honorable mention that has really gone under the radar was Brave. Did you ever watch that one?
Never seen it. I think I have it on Blu-ray.
You should watch that one too. It's really good. It's all Scottish and stuff. So
really,
yeah, it's cool. You'd like it.
What about a least favorite?
My least favorite is probably The Incredibles. It's got to be The Incredibles. I know you like that movie.
Well, like I like it, but there are people that love that movie. They're gonna defend that to the death.
Yeah, I know, but it's you know what, and it might be Despicable Me too. I forgot about that.
I don't think that's Disney Pixar.
Oh, it's not? It's
no,
DreamWorks?
I think it's something like that.
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Or Sony, even. Yeah, one of them.
Sony owns DreamWorks, right?
Do they?
I think so. I think it's the same company.
Okay.
Like Disney, Pixar, Sony. No?
I don't know. I don't even know. What about your... well, you said Incredibles, right?
Yeah, The Incredibles. If not that, Monsters, Inc.
Oh, fuck you. My favorite Pixar movie is Monsters, Inc. By a mile.
Monsters
You're
Inc.
crazy. What the fuck? Why don't you like Monsters, Inc.?
I do like it. It's just my least favorite. I love Disney movies. And
you're saying that just to get a rise out of me. Because you know I love that movie.
No, I do. I don't know. I like the movie. It's just, I don't know. I watched it once and was like, okay, I saw Monsters, Inc. That was it, you know? I don't know. It leaves some to be desired. I also don't really like fucking what's his name's voice?
Billy Crystal?
Yeah.
It's too like
It's
nasally.
so
and...
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snarf.
Snarf.
I think if they cast it better, if it was someone other than Billy Crystal, then maybe I would like it a little more. But it's just his voice is so annoying.
You're crazy, Taxi, dude. Monsters Inc. Yeah, my favorite. Because I don't know, I just have a lot of vivid memories of it. I remember seeing it with my good friend Colin in theaters. When it came out, I remember everything about that day for some reason, and I remember that, and I remember loving it. And I remember a couple years later, I got a job at the family restaurant, and with my very first paycheck, I had to walk to work at this Mexican restaurant, and on the way there, I would stop by a 7-Eleven and get a drink or whatever. And I saw behind the counter they had a VHS of Monsters Inc. for like I don't know, $15. I bought the hell out of that, dude. Took it to work, was all excited to go home. I think it was one of the first movies I ever bought, or if not the first. So I just watched it over and over and over and over. So yeah, I got a lot of nostalgia tied to that one for me.
Yeah, and you had his voice in your head constantly, and eventually you got used to it. Snarf!
Snarf! Everyone remembers that classic line from Monsters Incorporated. Least favorite by a fucking country mile, Cars. Get that shit out of my face.
Okay.
Get that shit out of my face. I hate Cars. I hate Cars 2. I hate Cars 3. I'm going to hate Cars 4. I'm going to love Cars 5. But Cars 6 can go to fucking hell.
It's like the fast franchise. But first one was good. Second one sucked. Third one sucked.
And then suddenly in Cars 5, The Rock comes. Just no looking back from there.
What kind of car would The Rock be if he was in Cars?
He would be a souped up, old school, like, Challenger.
Oh,
a muscle car, I think, but a Challenger comes to mind.
Yeah, a big muscle car.
A big muscle car. Yeah, that's what I think.
Nice. At first I went to Hummers and stuff, and I'm thinking maybe that's more Brock Lesnar style.
Yeah.
Brock would be a Hummer. The Rock would definitely be a Challenger, or
Braun Strowman would be a dump truck.
A Chevelle, maybe. Braun would be,
would be just a big trash truck.
Yeah.
He wears the same colors, and he just throws things and flips them like garbage trucks do.
He has a train horn instead of a regular horn.
So you heard it straight out of this horse's mouth. Cars blows. Monsters Inc. is amazing. Don't listen to Zach. He doesn't know anything about Pixar.
Do not watch Monsters Inc.
Son of a bitch. So what about Disney films? Just Disney cartoons?
Definitely the best is Lion King, in my opinion.
That's
followed closely by Aladdin, but the Lion King was.
I'm looking at a list here. Go on.
It was just so emotional, and so like as a kid, it would make you cry when Mufasa dies. And spoiler alert, sorry.
The first time, like he's like Papa or whatever he's doing, he's like touching him, trying to get him to roll over. Man, I fast forward through that every time. I don't need that.
Do you remember when they came out with the 3D version of it? They re-released it?
No, I don't remember that. That's rad.
They re-released it in theaters, and I actually went on a date to go see this movie.
God.
That was a fucking mistake.
Oh, man.
But we went to watch it in Hollywood there's a theater that's owned by Disney. I forget. It's not
Pantages?
the Wiltern. Yeah, the Pantages.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning, you know how they have that big orange curtain in the background and stuff?
Oh, yeah, okay.
They had a guy come out and play organ, and he's playing all these Disney hits on the organ. And it was so fucking emotional. And everyone in the crowd is just sitting there just in awe, loving every minute of it.
That's
Goosebumps
so rad.
everywhere. But then the fucking movie starts. And even on the happy parts, even when it's not sad, I'm sitting there fighting tears so hard. And I'm on a date, I'm with a girl. I'm trying to impress her. I'm like,
hard.
trying to, let's go watch Lion King. That's cool. Like, we'll love it. And we go down to Hollywood to watch it and everything.
That's like a comedy bit right there.
It was so bad.
So funny.
You know that pain you get in the back of your throat, like at the bottom. Yeah, that
The lump in your throat?
that lump in the throat.
Yeah.
It was just for an hour and a half. That was just in my mouth. It was so bad.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I just you just kind of lean away from her, which you don't want to do on a date, but
Yeah.
just lean away. Don't let her see my eyes.
Act like you're looking into the popcorn.
Yeah. Start sneezing. Achoo! Oh, my allergies. Achoo!
Achoo! Achoo! God, that's funny. So, Lion King, is there a Disney animated film that stands out as like a lesser film to you when you don't like very much?
Yeah, maybe Pinocchio, and I might have to rewatch
choice,
it
actually.
as an adult, but as a kid, it's such a dark movie. It
You're
made
right.
me feel so weird
You're
after
right.
watching
Wow.
it.
Yeah. When was the last time you seen it?
I think I was a kid. I can't really remember. And honestly, a lot of scenes I don't even know. Like I couldn't tell. I remember him getting swallowed by the whale. I remember going onto some ship at one point too. There was like just so much darkness that I don't know. Maybe I kind of blocked it out of my memory. But
Well, it's kind of like what you always say. You don't remember what people say or do, but you'll always remember how they make you feel.
yes,
And that's what you're speaking the truth, because that movie made me feel the same way. I don't remember much about that movie. I remember there's a scene with a big boat he had to get on or something. And anyway,
yeah.
but
I think he was
remember
going to some island or something like that.
But I remember it was stormy and very dark, like just had a very dark feel to it.
Yeah. Sad. We got to rewatch that one because
Yeah, I'm trying to look at these Disney movies here, and there's a lot of good ones. I would probably say my favorite. Man, it's tough. I really like The Emperor's New Groove.
wow, nice. That's
It's
kind of the
later on.
B-side. It's a good one, but that's not a very popular one.
I really like The Emperor's New Groove. I love Aladdin.
Oh,
If I had to choose
love
one
Aladdin.
movie to watch or to exist between the two of those, it would definitely be Aladdin.
Yeah.
And there's
So that might be your choice, Aladdin.
Yeah, I think unless something right here that I'm looking at here on the internet looks better than Aladdin, but no. So I'm going to say Aladdin. But my least favorite is not a difficult choice. My least favorite film in the Disney cartoon canon is Bambi. Hate
Really?
Bambi.
I love Bambi.
Hate Bambi. Again,
so
because
cute.
it's dark.
Yeah, it is a sad one.
It's got the death of his mom, which killed me when I was a kid. It just ruined me.
Yeah.
And so that it's kind of the same reason as Pinocchio. It's just a very dark cloud over that movie, and I just don't want to sit through it.
Yeah.
Speaking of honorary mention for the Tears Award, how about Fox and the Hound?
Yeah. Talk about a sad, unlikely friendship.
Have you seen Toy Story 3?
Yes. When he's going away to college.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
The scene where they're all dying in the trash compactor and like the incinerator. Man, I lost my shit in the theater. And they all finally come to this point where they just accept it, that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they just hold hands. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
lost it, dude. I almost lose it
I'm
just
getting-
sitting here talking about
I'm
it.
getting goosebumps right now, dude. Look at my arm.
Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Like you're like Nick's like 5 feet away from me, and he could see
I
my
could
goosebumps from
see
here.
those hills and valleys. So yeah,
Goose
there you
flesh.
have it, John Boy. I hope that was a satisfactory answer.
Johnny boy.
You boys at Crossplay, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining us here on episode 11 of the Crossplay Podcast. I have been Nicholas James,
I've been Zach.
and we will see you next Tuesday, episode 12 of the Crossplay Podcast. Woohoo! See you then. Bye.